left. Tim Schmidt is joining us now. He's the president and founder of U.S. Concealed Carry Association. Apropos that he's on the show, considering 3 terror attacks in a 12-hour span. Tim, and one of the things that we track at Breitbart News every time is we always see that the pattern is that these are soft targets, that these jihadis are not hitting, they're not going into places where people are heavily armed, they're not going into places where people can defend themselves. They tend to go to these anti-gun safe spaces where there are no carries allowed. Talk to us about the targeting systematically of these zones where there are no concealed carry in the United States.
Sure, of course, Alex. Good morning. The bottom line is that gun-free zones, they simply do not work. I mean, criminals, they pay no attention to these gun-free zones. Ultimately, what happens is that only law-abiding citizens pay attention to them. So what you have, in essence, is a whole bunch of soft targets. And the crazy thing is that our politicians, they want to expand these gun-free zones when the fact of the matter is that education, training, and responsible gun ownership is really the only sustainable violence-reducing solution.
Yeah, and let's talk about some of the latest developments in the gun industry and the gun world. Barack Obama, probably his greatest failing as president has been, at least from his perspective, is that he's pushed gun control time and time again. He's never been able to succeed by any means. He's had some executive actions on it, but it's been pretty ineffectual. In the meantime, he's actually kind of scared people that they might have their guns blocked, gun purchases blocked, and people have reacted in an overwhelming way. Record-breaking increases in concealed carry permits. Talk to us about this phenomenon, Tim.
Yeah, you're right. There's been a huge increase in concealed carry permits. Over the entire span of Barack Obama's presidency, concealed carry permits have gone from roughly 6 million to almost 15 million people in the U.S. And I mean, the reason that's happening is because everybody wants, their family to be safe and secure, and more Americans are deciding to accept that responsibility as their own. And I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing, too. Missouri is the latest to allow concealed carry permits without to allow concealed carry without a permit. How many states are like that at this point in time?
I believe now with Missouri on board, there's 4 states that allow what I refer to as constitutional carry. And again, some people are going to be nervous about. Well, constitutional carry simply refers to the fact that the founders of our country, they affirmed the natural right to self-defense in our Constitution with, of course, the Second Amendment. So therefore, the argument is that, hey, you shouldn't need to ask permission to exercise a natural-born right that's affirmed in our Constitution.
Yeah, that is an interesting thing, that the right to bear arms should not be infringed, yet we still have as many regulations as we have. And with the amount of this domestic terrorism that's happened, and I mean domestic meaning throughout the country, and you would think that you would want, not to say everyone is homegrown, most of these people end up getting radicalized. Elsewhere, we learned that Ahmad Khan Rahami, the terrorist who bombed, who planted at least some of the bombs, we're trying to put together all the details, who was captured yesterday and wounded as well. He was someone who went to Afghanistan multiple times. I'm sure he went for the golf and the wine tasting. I'm sure that's why he decided to travel there repeatedly. And then his friends said he came back radicalized. And so he's not getting radicalized here, though sometimes there are radical mosques here. But for the most part, they're targeting soft targets. They're targeting train stations. They're targeting marathons and races. They're targeting people having a night out. And isn't this why concealed carry is so important, that there is a chance someone who's trained and is properly equipped mentally and physically can stop one of these bastards?
Alex, you're exactly right. The best part about concealed carry is that everybody doesn't have to do it for the vast majority of the population to get the benefit. If there's only roughly 3% of our citizens are carrying concealed, you're going to have this powerful deterrent effect that the bad guys, the criminals, they'll have no idea who's carrying it, who isn't. But because 3% are, naturally crime will go down because they're never going to know who's going to have the gun.
Yeah, exactly. Tim Schmidt, talk to us about what people can do to get involved and to make sure that they're defending their Second Amendment rights. Because, we were talking about this when we were having our production meeting yesterday about how this show really should be about both the First and the Second Amendment. We make it ground zero for the First Amendment, but the Second Amendment just as important at this point in time. How do people get involved and fight back?
Well, I love your thoughts about the First and the Second Amendment. And the fact of the matter is that if the Second Amendment goes away, the First will go away as well.
I think that's right on the money.
How can people help? You can support organizations like Gun Owners of America, Second Amendment Foundation. These are fantastic nonprofits that are fighting tooth and nail for those rights. If you yourself want to get involved in learning how to become that responsibly armed citizen, check out the USCCA. We're all about education, training, and ultimately self-defense insurance for responsible gun owners.
And this is an amazing moment because you feel like the pressure to ban guns or to curb guns has been under attack for so long, yet you seem like people like yourself are more prolific. And I have to admit, I'm surprised sometimes. I'm surprised when the good guys win a narrative because the left is so overwhelming in terms of their dominance of the media and the culture. What has been the secret for gun owners, for them to continue to be able to really keep their rights when they're under attack from so many people?
Gosh, that's such a good question, Alex. I would have to say that the reason that the pro-Second Amendment movement has not been squashed by, you're right, the unbelievably powerful, mainstream media left is because of the principles. The underlying principles are so true. And ultimately, people understand that the only way to protect and defend themselves is if they can do it. They can do it on their own. And so I kind of liken it to a drip of water that just has unbelievable power over the course of time. And there's lots of people like me out there, and ultimately we will prevail in this.
Thanks, Tim Schmidt, President and founder, U.S. Concealed Carry Association. We'll have to check back with him. And those of you who are big gun supporters, we have a gun writer, A.W.R. Hawkins, who I think is the best in the business. We're going to be launching a new initiative with him that we're going to be announcing soon that is just about ready to pop, that I'm very excited about. And it should increase our coverage of these types of stories.